So guys, before we get started, don't forget we do have that amazing discount code thanks to Tier 0 Games going on right now. And all you have to do is put in ZWGames5 to get 5% discount on your total order at tier0games.com. The links will be in the description below. What's up YouTube, Dal here from Z4Games, bringing you an update thanks to Joe to @Ignistas. Now @Ignistas actually got about 5, I believe, if not more, new cards from Eternity Code, and we have put the build together including the first Link 6 monster. So this card's actually really nutty in this deck and it's kind of cool to play around with, and I'll show you towards the end a route of getting into it. It's very specific, that Joe will show you the full combo during one of his videos as well. With that said and done, please smash the like button, hit the notification bell and subscribe so you do not miss out on any more Eternity Code profile updates. With that said and done, let's get into today's profile of @Ignistas. So, starting off with @Ignistas, I'm going to go through the deck, give you as much detail as I possibly can to exactly why you play the certain cards you do and what each one does. So, we play triple Achichi @Ignista. So, this card is one of your go-getters, one of your go-starters alongside Picari. And I'm going to put Picari down at the exact same time as well. So these two together are actually a very powerful force to be reckoned with and get the combo started. Picari is if this card is normal or special and you add one eye spell trap card from the deck to your hand. Shout out to those that keep commenting saying, stop calling them AI, they're eyes. Okay, I've done it, it's okay. For your deck to the hand, you can type one @Ignista monster you control, its level becomes 4 until the end of this turn. And then @Ignista Achichi, if this card is normal or summoned, you add 1 level 4 or lower @Ignista monster from your deck to your hand, except himself. At the start of the damage step, when your Cyverse monster battles, you can banish this card from the graveyard, destroy that monster you control, only use the effect once per turn. Now obviously that effect sounds like weird, why would you want to do that? Some of your cards actually get some effects off once they're destroyed, so, or one another Ignista is destroyed as well. So you don't want to do it, it's just another route that you can do. Anyway, so you max out on these. These did drop to like 6 quids and less each, so I hope they kind of stayed at that price for you guys as well. We'll then play triple Duyon @Ignista. So when this card is normal or special, you target one @Ignista monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. If this card is sent to the graveyard as the material for a link summon of a Cyverse monster, target one eye spell or trap in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So again, additional recurrence, additional add back, and there are a couple of new eye spells and traps that you do use that you're actually not going to be bad bringing them back to your hand. We'll then play double Buru. So if this card is normal or special summoned, you send one @Ignista monster from your deck to the graveyard. If this card is sent to the graveyard as material for the synchro summon of a Cyverse monster, it is the only tune here, so yes it will be, you can target one monster in your graveyard that was used for that synchro summon and bring it back except himself, but its effects, you can only use the effects once per turn. So it does give you additional extension, it does go towards the 2-card combo that we've shown before, and it does allow you to extend your board further. Then for the last of the @Ignistas, we do play the two, or the one Doshin and the one Hiyari. Now, right now, Doshin is a little bit more versatile in this deck because we do run the fusion. But both of these cards is if you control an @Ignista monster, you can special summon this card from the hand. This one is you target one Cyverse Link monster in your graveyard, return it to the extra deck, and if you do, add one AI Love Fusion from your deck to your hand. So that's really cool. The Hiyari does the exact same thing, but you can special summon this card from your hand. You can tribute one other Cyverse monster, add 1 level 5 or higher @Ignista monster from your deck to your hand, and if you do, this card becomes level 4 until the end of this turn. Then if you tributed a Link monster to activate this effect, you can add 1 AI or Eyes rituals from your deck to your hand. So this is all about the ritual play, which I don't put in this personal build, purely because I like the fusion a little bit more, and this is just for your extender. Then we've got 2 of the brand new cards. So you've got Gachatari and you've got Garusi. I've probably butchered those names, so I do apologise. So with Gachatari, so this one is the first time each Cyverse monster you control would be destroyed by a card effect. Each turn it is not destroyed. Only use each of the following effects once per turn. Type one Cyverse effect monster you control negates effects, and if you do, special summon this card from your hand. A nice, free, easy extending summon of a 3k defender as well. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target one face-up monster you control. That target is unaffected by your opponent's card effects until the end of your opponent's turn. So it's kind of really nice, is if you actually have the ability to get rid of this, and you're in Nibiru territory, this can protect it from being Nibiru'd, which is nice. The Gasari is when a link monster is destroyed by battle, you special summon this card from your hand. When your link monster is destroyed an opponent's let me start again. When your link monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to that destroyed monster's original attack. When an attack is declared involving a link monster you control and an opponent's monster, you can banish this card from the graveyard. The attack of those monsters become 3,000, and you can only use each effect once per turn. So that's nice to get your weaker monsters over your opponent's bigger monsters as well. The Gashtari is probably a little bit better and more versatile because it's easy to special summon. This is a bit more situational, but it can really catch your opponent off and do incredible damage as well. The support monsters that we play is triple Balancer Lord. This one's quite straightforward and simple, and this one is really good. You play it in pretty much most Cyberse decks just because of how far it can go. So once per turn, you pay 1,000 life points. During your main phase this turn, you can normal summon one Cyberse monster in addition to your normal summon or set. Only gain this effect once per turn. If this card is banished, you can special summon one level 4 or lower monster from your hand. Only use the effect once per turn. So the combo of this is use Wicked. Wicked banishes it. That then allows you to technically search out a tuner, which is your Buru, and then this will allow you to special summon the Buru should you choose to. But you can special summon any other from your hand as long as it is a level 4 or lower. We then play double Lady Debug and the single Micro Kodar. Debug pretty much searches out 90% of all your monsters. I think it actually searches out 100% of all your monsters. No, because it's got to be level 3 or lower. So yeah, about 90%, I think, or about 80% of your monsters, which is really good. And then the Microcoder, I know it is a game promo, but for this deck, if you want to build it, it's actually worth buying the game. The game's really fun. It's got the new updates as well, and you get Microcoder and the codec that we actually play in the deck as well. So Microcoder, if a Cyberse monster you control would be used as link material for a Code Talker monster, this card in your hand can also be used as material. If this card is sent from the hand or field to the graveyard as material for the link summon of a Code Talker monster, you can either add one Signet mining, spell or trap from your deck to your hand, or if this card on the field is used as material, you can add one level 4 Cyberse monster instead. Only use the effects once per turn. So it's literally just there to extend your link plays. Triple Signet Mining, this should be a lot easier for you guys to get hold of now that it came out as Ultra in Dual Overload. Too many. So you can actually pick this up nice and easy as well. Triple AI Ignista Island. So this is the bread and butter of the deck. This is what gets everything going and allows you to extend crazy. So if you control no monsters in your main monster zone, you can special summon one level 4 or lower at Ignista monsters. It's a shame it's not any at Ignistas because then it would make the big beasts a lot easier to get out. But then that's where it gets a little bit busted. So it allows you to special summon a level 4 or lower, but for the rest of the turn, you cannot special summon monsters with the same original attribute by the effect of Ignista Island. Also, you cannot special summon monsters except Cyberse monsters, even if this card leaves the field. If this card is in your graveyard, you can banish one at Ignista monster from your graveyard, set this card. You can only use this effect once per turn. So the idea is, because you've got like fire, wind, water, earth, you've got all the attributes, as long as you control your hand correctly, you actually just keep going, monster, link up, special summon, link up, special summon, link up, special summon, link up, and you just keep going, get your boss monsters out, and wipe the board with your link 5 or even your link 6 as well. Then for the other field spells that we could technically play is the one set rotation or the way to search it, the one terraforming, and I'm sorry, we do play the one Mystic Mine. This deck can really struggle regaining your resources. You do put a lot out, and it doesn't have a built-in out to Nibiru right now because you have to go into Firewall Dragon, Fluid Dragon, sorry. And by the time you've got that, you've gone way past your fire summon, so you are well within Nibiru territory. So if your opponent does Nibiru you, you need a way to kind of stun your opponents that you can regain your resources to then replace this with AI land or Island, and then you just keep building from there. So you've got to be very careful, but this is probably one of the most powerful cards to do that and can really stump your opponent as well. So if you brick going first but you get this, or set rotation, you really put your opponent under the cush. Double Call by the Grave, this should probably technically be free because you need your effects to go off as consistently as possible. The worst thing is if your Picari gets ashed or if your Achichi gets ashed as well, sometimes your combos just crumble if you haven't already got an Island as well. We've got two Pot Desires because, like I said, you need to open up like your Picari, your Achichi, and your Island as well. So this is probably one of the better draw cards for this deck. Two Idol Reborn or Idol Reborn. This is a quick play monster reborn. Target an Agnista monster in your graveyard, special summon it. You cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn after this card resolves except side-verse monsters. Doesn't really matter. When attack is declared involving 2 monsters, you can banish this card from your graveyard and 1 card from your hand. Then target one of your eye, spell or traps that is banished or in your graveyard, except itself, and add it to your hand. Now, we play more eye cards, but again, it's very, very rare that that effect actually comes out. You just play it as a quick play Monster Reborn alongside a normal Monster Reborn. And then for the final one-offs, you've got the one I love Fusion. I do love Fusion. It's a really good mechanic. So this is a mistake that I didn't play previously. I did play it previously, but I left it out in my most recent build and I was like, damn, this is going straight back in. So Fusion summon one side-verse Fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as Fusion material. If you use at Ignista monster as Fusion material, you can also use one link monster your opponent controls. So that's right, if you normal summon an Ignista, don't use this effect, and they've got an Appaloosa, you just go, hey, I love Fusion, I love Fusion. And then they go, what? And you go, yeah, I'm going to use your Appaloosa, I'm going to use my Ignista, and you're going to be like, what? And then they've just lost their Appaloosa, and you've got a pretty decent Fusion monster that can start going, boom, straight through the rest of their board. We've then got the Eye Contact. Yeah, Eye Contact. This is the brand new card that came out in Eternity Code. If it Ignista Island is in your field zone, reveal one Ignista Island in your hand, place it on the bottom of your deck and draw 3 cards. We only play a 1 because it's very, very specific. You have to particularly go Bakari and not search out your Monster Reborn, but search out another land that you've already gotten a land on, just so you can activate this to draw 3. Very, very specific, can be cut if you want it to. And then we play the one Signet codec. Now Joe does play 2 of these, I only have 1, so it is going in at 1. And the reason for this is it's a once per chain effect, so it's very, very good and actually lets you extend your board quite nicely. So if a Code Talker monster is special summoned from the extra deck to your field except during a damage step, you can target one of those monsters, add one side-verse monster with the same attribute from your deck to your hand. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn except side-verse monsters. You cannot add other monsters with that same attribute to your hand by the effect of Signet codec this turn. You can only use the effect once per chain. So the idea is, if you chain into a Code Talker, you get a search. If you chain into another Code Talker, you get a search. If you go into another Code Talker, you get another search. As long as it's not the same attribute, which with this we're actually only searching out your dark and your light, dark and earth, you can keep on going. So it's really, really good. So moving on to the extra deck, there is one card in there that I don't play that Joe does play, and it actually makes the Code Talker codec play a little bit more consistent, and that is General Code Talker, the link 2 that points up and down. So that is one thing to keep in mind. Now we'll go from the bottom up, so we start off with the Fusion. So your Earth Golem at Ignista, really, really cool card, underrated as well. So after this card is Fusion summoned, you take no damage for the rest of this turn. If this card attacks a monster that was special summoned from the extra deck, this card gains attack equal to its original attack during the damage step only. When this card is destroyed by battle, you target one side-verse monster in your graveyard, accept itself, and special summon it. So this will get past anything as long as it's been special summoned from the extra deck. The one Light Dragon at Ignista, so 2 level 4 monsters. If a monster you control, monster or monsters you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, destroyed by card effect, you detach one material from this card instead. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. So you detach one material from this card, destroy face-up monsters your opponent controls, up to the number of at Ignista monsters you control. So that can be anywhere from 1 to 6. It's insane. When another side-verse monster you control inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can special summon one link monster from your graveyard. This is always going to do damage. Always going to do damage, unless it's in defense, but it should always do damage. And then the last synchro, or the last Agnista's not in the link monster form, is Wind Pegasus Agnista. So during your main phase, you can destroy spell and trap cards your opponent controls up to the number of Agnista monsters you control. If another card or cards you control would be destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect while this card is on the field or in the graveyard, you can banish this card, then target one card your opponent controls, shuffle it into the deck. So nice non-destruction. And then we do play the one side as Quantum Dragon. I just really, really like it. It kind of gives you a nice soft lock, especially if you play Avramax as well. So if you get both of those on board, your opponent can't attack either of them. So nice. And then of course we've got the Link Garibos, or there we are, Link Garibos. So we play 2 of those. We then play the one Update Jammer. Now I play Update Jammer over the Code Talker just to be a bit more aggressive. Joe plays the Code Talker for a bit more consistency, which I completely agree with. So if you do have the Code Talker, by all means put that in there as well, and kind of work it and use it and abuse it as best you can. Another brand new card that came out in Eternity Code is Splash Mage. Now, I really like this card. So it is 2 Cyberse monsters. You can target 1 Cyberse monster in your graveyard, special summon it in defense position, but negate its effects. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except Cyberse. You're already going to be doing that anyway. But the reason this works so well, it is another Cyberse Wicked form as well. So the 2 of these can work really well and replace each other depending on what you've got and depending on what period of the game you're in. Then for the Link 3s, you've got the 2 Dark Templar Agnistas and the Transcode Talker. So Transcode Talker is another aggressive way to finish the game off and actually really helps you go into your Link plays. And it is an Earth Code Talker monster, so if you activate this with Codec on play, you get to search out an Earth one, which can be your Doshin, or it can also be the big boss monsters of your Gitachi as well. Dark Templar Agnista is very specific because it requires 3 monsters with different names, but it is a beast. So if a monster or monsters is special summoned to a zone this card points to, even during the damage step, you can special summon as many level 4 or lower Agnista monsters from your graveyard as possible to your zones this card points to. So you're only going to be able to ever summon 2. But it's still kind of really good. But their effects are negated. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you special summon 1 Cyberse monster from your graveyard. So during the battle phase, you just get to go attack, bring back Transcode. Transcode gives itself a nice little boost. And then if you've got Update Jammer here, just gonna bum. So it's really good. And then moving on to the boss monsters, you've got the 1 Access Code Talker. This is the brand new card that came out in Eternity Code, the cover card, the boss monster. It is insane. So it requires 2+ effect monsters. It is a Link Force. It's nice and easy to get into. It is also a Dark Code Talker card as well, so you do get to search out your Doinyon as well. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to this card's effect activation. If this card is Link summoned, you can target 1 Link monster that was used as material for its Link summon. This card gains attack equal to that monster's Link rating times 1,000. 5,300. That's bad. You can banish 1 Link monster from your graveyard, field or graveyard. Destroy 1 card your opponent controls. Non-target. Nice. Also, for the rest of this turn, you cannot banish monsters with the same attribute to activate its effect. Hang on. Where on this card does it say once? It's not a once per turn? So you're telling me. Now, these are darks. But by the point I've got to my Dark Agnista, I'm going to have a water in there. I'm probably going to have an earth in there. And I'm definitely going to have a dark in there. So I could pop up to anywhere from 1, 2, 3, 4 cards non-target, and this can be at least a 5,300 monster. Nice. Anyway, that is your aggressive card, alongside your 2 other aggressive cards and defensive cards as well. Your Firewall Dragon Dark Fluid, this is your defensive card. So your Dark Fluid is basically there to protect. So this is the card you want to go into first turn. If this card is Link summoned, you place counters on this card equal to the number of different types of Cyberse monsters in your graveyard. Ritual, Fusion, Synchro, and XYZ. This card gains 2,500 attack for each, and for each counter on it. During the battle phase only. When your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you remove 1 counter from this card and negate the activation. Also, if this effect was activated between this card's attack declaration and the end of the damage step, it can make another attack in a row. Now that's not a once per turn, so that's kind of nice to get moving in that sense as well. The idea is you're only ever going to really get this with 2, and it is a when effect. You've got to be very careful on when you activate it as well, because they can chain block you. But it does let you, give you a defensive play with at least 2 negates, and it makes it a 8,000 attack monster as well. And then for the final one, we've got the brand new, the Arrival Cyberse at Agnista. So 3+ monsters with different attributes. You can only control 1 Arrival Cyberse, not that you should ever need to have 2 Link 6s on the board. The original attack of this card becomes 1,000 times the number of Link materials used for its Link summon, unaffected by other card effects. Once per turn, you can target 1 other monster on the field, destroy it, and if you do, special summon 1 at Agnista token, Cyberse Dark, level 1, to a zone this card points to. Now, it's good, but it's not amazing. It's very difficult to use 6 Link monsters to get this. On average, you're probably going to be using 3 to 4 to make this. But it's a 3 to 4k towers monster. It's not a quick effect, which is a shame, but you can. It's just there to win the game and kill the game off. It's not a necessity. I would probably rather go to Access Code Talker for winning the game off than I would go the Arrival, but it depends on what type of player you want to be and what kind of tactic or strategy you're going to go for. And that is it. That is it for the profile. Quite straightforward. Very, very nice lineup. Again, a shout out to Joe. Joe is the Agnista person, and once he receives his Eternity Code box, if he gets all the cards that he needs, he will bring you another update to Code Talkers and another different version of Agnistas as well. But for now, I hope this helps. I hope this has given you a couple of ideas. Like, comment, subscribe, share, so you do not miss out on anything coming up. We do still have Ancient Warriors. We've got Adamanticators, Eldritch if it hasn't already gone out. I've got Dinos to come. I've got Dragon Maids to come. So many, it's crazy. And I'm trying to take my time with these profiles and give you guys a little bit more explanation. If you don't like the length of the videos, please let me know in the comments below. That's the only way I'm going to be able to learn and adapt and kind of get better for you guys. But if you like the extended versions with the breakdowns and information on each particular card, then please give it a massive thumbs up. But for now, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share, and as always, guys, happy dueling.